Chapter 4, we're going to add and subtract mixed numbers. You can turn to page 299 and join me. Let's look at the real world link. Junior and adult hockey sticks are shown here. So we have a junior hockey stick and an adult hockey stick. And they are being measured in feet. Okay, if I zoom in, you can see right there, they're being measured in feet. This one is 3 2/3 feet, or 3 2/3 foot hockey stick. Okay, and an adult is the length is 4 5/6 feet long. Okay, just make note of these because we'll need them to answer the following questions. We want to find the difference between the two sticks, so we have the expression 4 5/6 minus 3 2/3. To find how much longer the adult hockey stick is than the junior hockey stick. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to subtract it here. Okay, so we need to rename, as you see right here, it says rename the fractions using the least common denominator of 6. You see how we have here a 6 and a 3? We have to find a common denominator before we can subtract. Now let's leave the whole numbers on the side, okay? The whole numbers can stay as they are. So we have the 3 there, we keep it. But we're going to find a common denominator. 3 is a multiple of 6, so it can become 6 just like we have there, right? But if I double this to 6, I must double the top. I must double the 2 to 4. And that now we can work together with the 2. Okay? So what's going to happen is this number, this 4, will subtract from the 5, and this 3 will subtract from the 4. So 4 minus 3 is 1, right? And 5 minus 4, as you see right here, 5 minus 4. First we did 4 minus 3 is 1, and now 5 minus 4 is also 1, and we keep our denominator of 6. Okay, that's one way to look for the difference. So 1 and 1/6 is how much bigger the senior stick is than the junior stick, the adult stick. Now, if I were to ask you, how do I do this one? Okay, explain how to find 3 and 7/10 minus 2 and 2/5. Then use your conjuncture to find the difference. Okay, how would you find this one? Same thing, boys and girls. You have to find a common denominator, right? And you know that these are both multiples of 10. The first multiple here is 10, and the second one here is 10. 5, 10. So you can change this one to 10, which means this would change to 4 because you doubled it. A 2 would change to 4. So we first write the fractions with a common denominator, as you see right there. First write the fractions with a common denominator. Don't forget this. These answers are key answers. And then what do? We subtract the fractions, okay? And then the whole numbers. And that's going to give you, let me see, let me do it here mentally. It should give me 1 3/10, right? Because I am going to subtract, okay, 4 over here from 7, okay, and that's going to give me my 3. And then I am subtracting 2 from 3, and that's going to give me my 1 that you see there. Please copy this as well as a key answer. I'll be looking for this mixed number with 2 arrows on the side. Okay, a quick note we need to make. Add and subtract mixed numbers. To add or subtract mixed numbers, first add or subtract the fractions. If necessary, rename them using the least common denominator. Then add or subtract the whole numbers and simplify if necessary. These are your steps, boys and girls. Sometimes when you subtract mixed numbers, the fraction in the first mixed numbers is less than the fraction in the second mixed number. In this case, rename one or both fractions in order to subtract. Let me explain what this means. Take a look at this example. 10 2/9 minus 7 and 4/9. Okay, our whole numbers, yeah, those can be subtracted easily. 10 minus 7 is 3. But then we have 2/9 and 4/9. 4 is larger than 2. So when they say rename, you must rename, okay, you see it right there? I can do another color. Rename, it means we have to rearrange the order of this fraction here so that we can subtract it. Here, boys and girls, we have 10, 9 out of 9. We have 10 of them. So if I were to draw it out, and it would look like this, where I have 10 whole numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2 9s, and 2 9s. You see that? It looks like that. It's a huge, huge fraction. But we draw it as 10 wholes. Now I need to redistribute it. I need to only keep 9 of these, okay? And this one, I'm going to add it to this one and make it an improper fraction so that I have enough when I take away the 4. So it would end up looking like this. 9 over 11, or 9 11 ninths, okay? Because I took one of those 9 over 9 and added it to the 2, which brought it up to 11. So it's 11 over 2. Now, when I take away the 4, I can take it away no problem. Before I couldn't because I had 2. Okay, does that make sense? This is called renaming the fraction, redistributing the numbers. So now I can go ahead and scratch that one off because I've replaced it with this one. And I can subtract 11 minus 4 is 7. Okay, ninths. And then 9 minus 7 is 2. And there's my answer. If you didn't understand that, please watch it again. Okay, watch it again so that you can understand redistributing the numbers or renaming the numbers so that you have enough in the fraction to subtract. Okay, here we have the example 1. We have the same fractions, but now we're adding them. Okay, and they're the other way around. And this is quite simple. We add the fractions, so this becomes 6 over 9, right? 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 over 9. And you can see that right there, 6 over 9. And we add the 7 and the 10, which becomes 17. So 17 and 6 over 9, right? But 6 over 9, boys and girls, needs to be simplified. They're both multiples of 3. At the top, I have 2 3's, and at the bottom, I have 3 of them. So you have to simplify it. That's the final step. And then for example 2, you have subtraction, but you don't have a common denominator. But the nice thing is this common denominator is a multiple of 6. 3, 6. So if you make this a 6, you must make this a 2, because you double whatever. If you double the bottom, you double the top. And then you go ahead and just subtract, you see? And then you subtract 5 minus 2 is 3, and then 8 minus 2 is 6, and then 3 over 6, they're both multiples of 3, because you have 1 3 there and 2 3's there, so it's 6.5. Okay, I think we're ready to try these. Now, boys and girls, as always, please pause the video and try it on your own. Try it on a piece of paper first. This is where you learn, okay? Try it on your own and see how you do, and then watch me do it, please. Pause now. I hope you paused the video. Okay, 6 1/8 plus 2 5/8 is the first one. We add the fractions first. 1 plus 5 is 6 over 8, and then 6 plus 2 is 8. These are both multiples of 2's, and I know I can half each one, so now I'm going to have 8, my whole number, 3 over 4. For B, I have 5 1/5 plus 2 3/10. I have to find a common denominator, and the common denominator is 10, because if I count by 5, so I'll have 10, and the first number here is 10. If I change the bottom to 10, I must change the top. I double this, so I must double this. And there we go, I have 2 tenths. Now I can go ahead and add. 5 plus 2 is 7, and 2 plus 3 is 5. I have 5 over 10, which is a half. 5 is half of 10. So don't forget to simplify, otherwise this answer is wrong. So you must simplify. Letter C, we have 1 5/9 plus 4 1/6. Okay, we have 9 and 6. If I count by 9s, I'll have 9, 18. If I count by 6, 6, 12, 18. So 18 is the common denominator. Notice that if I change the bottoms to 18s, the denominator must change the top by this proportion. So I double this, I double the top. You see, 5 became 10. I tripled the 6 here, I tripled it, so I must triple the 1 to 3. And now I can go ahead and add. 10 plus 3 is 13, and 1 plus 4 is 5, so 5, 13, 18. You cannot simplify because 13 is a prime number. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have 5 4/5 minus 1 3/10. The common denominator here is going to be 10, multiples of 10, 5, 10, or just 10. We're lucky that we don't have to redistribute this number, okay, because we have enough to subtract from it. Remember, if I double the 5, I must double the 4. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So I doubled it to 10, I doubled the 4 to 8. Alright, go ahead and subtract now. 8 minus 3 equals 5, and 10, bottom. And 5 minus 1 is 4. But you notice that we're still not done, right? We can simplify. Here we must simplify. These are both multiples of 5, so let's go ahead and simplify it to 4 1/2. 5 is half of 10. For E, we have 13 7/8 minus 9 3/4. Multiples of, these are both multiples of 4, right? So I would count, well, here's my first one is 8, but here it's 4, 8. So my second one. So I'm going to double this to 8, I'll double this to 6. Now I can go right ahead and subtract. When I subtract the 7 minus 6, I get 1. I keep my denominator as 8. And now I'm going to take my 13 and subtract the 9. Subtract the 9, I get 4, right? 13 minus 9 is 4 and 1/8. And now for F, we have to find again the common denominator of 2 and 3. We count common multiples. We'll see 3, 6, 2, 4, 6. So they're both 6. Remember that whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So I doubled the 3 to make it 6. I must double the 2 to make it 4. I tripled the 2 to make it 6. So I tripled the 1 to make it 3. And it's still a half. You see, 3 is half of 6. And here we have 2/3. Here you have 2 2s and 3 2s. So it's still 2/3. And now we subtract 4 minus 3 is 1. And we keep the 6, 1/6. And 8 minus 2 is 6. And there you have it. I hope you got them all correct. Please take a look at example 3 carefully so that you can see how we rename or redistribute the first fraction when the second fraction is larger. You see here that 2/3 is larger than 1/3. So we don't have enough here when we take away 2/3. We don't have enough. So we must redistribute from the 2. Here we have 2 3/3s. Right? So we're going to take one of those and redistribute it. That was one method. The second method is just to turn both now into improper fractions. So you had 2 and 1/3 minus 1 and 3/3. Just convert them into improper fractions. So you have 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7, so 7/3. And 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5, so 5/3. And then you just subtract 7 minus 5 is 2/3. And you see that. Okay, yeah, let's try that. Now these are going to take a little longer because we have to rename them, or what we said, redistribute it. But please go ahead, pause the video now, try it on your own, and then press play. You can press play after each one, or you can just press play and watch them all straight through.